Yeah, I have, a good circle, a good set of people that I feel like I can talk to about things, and I can go to when I need them. I mean, I have some trouble sometimes, like reaching out to them. I kind of get hesitant. I don't want to bother them or anything like that. I don't want to scare them. That's again something I need to work on. But yeah, I have a good support system.
Yeah, I have a very strong support system now, but it includes my family, my friends, my therapist. That took a lot of years to cultivate that support system and sort of realize how many people who cared about me I had that were just around me. But that's all cultivated through reaching out and just talking to more people about your issues and their issues and being open about this kind of stuff.
They're good friendships where like we can talk about things, and they know like what I go through, and they know like what my symptoms are like, and I tell them about how I'm feeling even when it's not the greatest. And so it's very nice to have that. Like I can't imagine going through this though, having people that I can talk to. So yeah, I'd say I have a good support system. I mean, first I try to let people know that like I'm there for them, and like I'm very serious when I say that. Like, if they ever need to ask anything or talk, like I'm always here. I try to, check in on friends as best as I can and just let them know like if something's up, then they can talk to me about it. If a friend is going through something, I'm always sure to kind of be there to talk and give advice if they want it, or just show them support in whichever way.
Try and listen as best as I can when people decide that they, going to be brave enough and open up to you. I think it's your duty to kind of, take that seriously. Take whatever thoughts that they're sharing with you seriously, and if you can give any advice, give it. And if you can't, but you know of someone who can, whether that's another person or a mental health professional or whoever, pass that info along, help that person out.
I support others by just asking people, how are you? Not like, hey man, what's up? It's like, hey man, like, how are you doing? Like, honestly, like, you good? I have so many friends that I feel like won't talk about things unless you really ask them. And it's tough for people to open up, especially the ones that are a little more shy and don't want to open up. But I think just sitting down, like even friends after they break up with their partners, or when they get let go of a job, just asking them, hey, like, are you good? Or how are you actually doing? You can talk to me about it because I've been there. I understand what it's like. So I think it's important to ask your friends, like, hey, like, how are you doing? Like, really?
A big thing for me is I like to, make people feel comfortable and like they can talk about their things that they're going through with me, because it's important, right? There's a lot of stigma out there, and it's hard for people to feel comfortable, like they can talk to somebody. So I try to be that person that lets them know, like, it's safe, it's okay, you can tell me what's going on, and I understand, and I will try to do my best.
So I think the biggest thing for me is always being there to listen. I know I always try to help, but sometimes that isn't the best thing because you don't exactly know what to do. But I think just being there and being present in the moment and just listening to them pour out their feelings or say whatever they need to say is what's really helpful for them. I'll just say like, hey, like let's go out and hang, and that's usually a good way to get their mind off of things. And hugs are really nice because I think it makes people feel like they're not alone. So
everybody seems to be living this great life, especially on social media, but sometimes just asking someone how are you and how you're doing, rather than just, hey, what's up, man, I think can make a big difference. So if you have a friend that's going through a breakup or going through a tough time in their life, just ask them, like, hey, if you want to talk, I'm here for you. Just like let me know if you need anything, even if you just want to grab a coffee or just hang out and chat. Like, it makes the world of a difference to those people, and they might not realize it right away, but when they get to that point where they do want to open up, they will call you.
Ask people what they need. So I really try to, ask friends or anyone that I'm trying to support, like, what can I do for you? Like, can you please tell me what it is that you need right now? Because, we can't read minds. I can't read their mind all the time or ever. So I need them to tell me, like, can you do this for me? And then I will if I can, right? And so I think asking what people need is important, and I try to do that as much as I can. I take a lot of the blame on myself for why people aren't as supportive as I might like sometimes. I don't reach out for help and ask for help as much as I should. But I think that for me, and I know a lot of people are like this, is just I wish that I got more reassurance from people sometimes, where it's like they let me know, like, seriously, you know, you can talk to me and like I'm here for you and like you're not bothering me and I care about, you know, like what you're going through and your problems, and just having that reassurance of like knowing I can go to them could be helpful.
I think that when I'm talking to people about how I feel, it's really hard when they say things like, oh, like that's not important, or you shouldn't be thinking about that, like, and they kind of just make your feelings feel like they're invalid. So I think the biggest thing is like people just they don't need to understand your feelings, and they don't need to try to help in any way. Just kind of be there and listen and make you feel like your feelings matter.
A lot of times with mental illness, pretty much all the time, you don't see the symptoms so clearly. Like, it doesn't make total sense that somebody's hurt or going through something unless they say it. And so something that I think, you know, other people could be more mindful of is just asking and checking in, even when you think that everything's fine, even if like you think, you know, like, oh, she seems great, I'm sure everything's okay. Like, it doesn't hurt to just check in and say like, hey, like, how have you been? I think, you know, I've noticed for myself, I get a lot of support. If I'm like in a noticeably low period and I'm vocal and open about it, I get a lot of support. You know, people, my friends, my family members, they're good. Like, they'll check in with me and see how I'm doing. And then when I get better, it's like that support kind of goes away, which is understandable. Like, it makes sense because obviously you think I'm okay. You don't think I need that support. But I think people could be better at supporting, myself included, is if we just like, you know, checked in always and like showed people that we care always, not just because, oh, you're feeling sad, you're feeling anxious, so I need to be there for you. But even when you're feeling fine, I still want to be there for you. It's that consistency is important, because going from, you know, being in a deep, dark place and getting all the support to then getting not that much support because everyone thinks you're fine, it's not a fun position to be in, and it's easy to, you know, relapse and go back into the dark sort of spot, the dark hole when you lose that sort of support. And so, yeah, that's a big piece of advice that I think is important. Ask for what you can do. Like, ask them, you know, how can I support you? Let them know that you want to support them, and validate their feelings. Don't minimize what they're feeling. Like, even if, you know, you might feel compelled to say like, oh, like, you're just being negative, think about the positive things, but that's not helpful. And I think telling them like, I'm sorry that you feel that way, or you don't have to apologize for it, but to just say like, I'm really sad that that's how you feel, like that sucks. That's validating it, and it's important. And then letting them know like, listen, like, what can I do? Do you want to talk about it? I'm here for you.
To ask questions and, you know, check in with them, ask them how they're doing, ask them how their day-to-day is going, how they're feeling, if they're, you know, coping with their mental illness well, if there's anything that you can do to help them, if there's anything that anybody else could do that you could recommend to them. Just ask.
I think it's really important to remember that there's no perfect thing that we can say. There's no perfect response or actions that we can do that can make it all go away in the moment. So I think it's really important to take the pressure off yourself in trying to do or say the perfect thing, but instead just be human and be empathetic. Let them know that you're there for them and that you're not going anywhere, and that you're there to navigate this with them. Yeah, just let them know that you understand what they're going through, that you see their struggles, that you see how hard this must be and how tough this must be for them, and let them know that you're going to be there with them on their journey. You can also ask them how they would like you to support them. So this might mean going to find a good therapist with them, or just anything that they would want from you. You can just ask them, what can I do to support you? What would you benefit from the most? And then actively show this with your actions. So don't just say that you'll be there for them, and actually check in on them and make sure that you're constantly doing this.
And what's important is not just saying that you're here for them, but showing them like through your actions. Like, if they say like, this is what I need, do it. or if there's a way that you know that you could make them feel better, then do it. Like if it's just showing up and like bringing them a coffee, or like surprising them for a visit or something like that, or just sending them like a cute little text in the day, like just these little things are the big things. And so I think it's really important to show people that you're there and that you support them through these ways. And I mean, the little things like make a big difference. And so don't ever think like, yeah, you're not a doctor, you're not a therapist, you're not going to fix all of their problems, and that's okay, but you can be a good friend and you can be a good family member, and you can still be supportive and be helpful in whatever capacity you know how. And just know that whatever you can do to help them, that's enough. That's good enough. If you're doing your best, if you're just making a little bit of an effort to help them and to be there for them, that's all that really they can ask for, and that's all that you're, really responsible for doing, or that's really all you could do, and that's enough. Honestly, I feel like, my needs change, but I really just need someone to listen sometimes.
I think it's important for people not to shy away from the idea of mental illness, and just be more open and be there for the people that are reaching out to them, and just listen.
Sometimes I need to go out and I just need to forget about all the stuff that's going on, and so I need like that escape, and then I would like to just not talk about my problems and just have a fun night. Other times it's like I want to talk about things, and so I feel like in terms of support, I kind of just want somebody that meets me where I'm at and can kind of help me in whatever way I need in that moment. And it's obviously going to change over time, but I think just someone that can be there regardless of what situation I am in, someone that doesn't judge me for feeling a certain way, someone that doesn't contradict what I'm saying or invalidate my feelings, and really just somebody that cares about me and they show love and support unconditionally. I think that's the best kind of support that you could get, really, and that you can give to people.
In terms of support, I think the biggest thing is you just want your friends and your family and your loved ones to be there for you. It's easy for people to say they are there for you, if you ever need anything, call me, but when you call them, you just want them to pick up. Sometimes you just need, someone to vent to or a shoulder to cry on, and that's when you need your support system the most. Having those people there for you and having someone that you can honestly, genuinely rely on is so important, because there's nothing worse in this world than feeling alone and feeling isolated and like you can't talk to someone. So if you're listening and you consider yourself a good friend to somebody, just make sure that when they need you, you're there for them, whether it's picking up your phone, making plans to go see them, or dropping what you're doing. I know it's tough sometimes, but do the best you can to be there for your loved ones and the people that need you the most.
I think the number one thing is to make sure that I don't cancel plans and isolate myself. So if I do, just show up at my house, kind of thing. And then also someone to just listen. I don't need to be told that it's gonna get better, or that it's okay, or that it could be worse. I just need someone to listen.
I think the best thing is when they just say like, I'm here for you, because then when in moments when you're feeling really negative and you have a lot of negative thoughts, you usually feel like you're alone. And just knowing that, just hearing somebody say, I am here for you, really makes you, it's just a nice reminder, and it's nice to know that really you aren't so alone. And just, I think also like just getting your mind off of it, it's really nice if they can tell me like, bring me out, or hang out with me in some way, because it gets my mind off of things and makes me feel a little bit better.
It's hard to say to your friend, like, these are the things that I need from you, because who are you to like tell your friends like what you need and what they need to do for you? Like, that's not the way it works. But just having like open lines of communication and like supporting your friends in like things that they want to do, like all these endeavors and all these like life paths that they want to travel down, like just support them and listen to them and have open conversations. And especially like for mental health within queer people, like one of the main things is like supporting queer people in queer friendly spaces. it really allows like bonds to form stronger, especially when queer people are told to like have chosen families. Your chosen families are your friends, and so you need to have like that really tight familiar bond.
I think it's always really hard for people to ask people who have mental illness like how they can be supported, and I think honestly, from my experience, the best thing that others can do for me is just check in every once in a while and say like, hey, how are you doing? Like, I've noticed something concrete, like, oh, I've noticed you seem a bit down recently. I just wanted to see if everything's okay. No one knows exactly what to say, but just asking that small little question can make a huge difference in someone's life.
Acceptance. If I flake on plans and I tell you that it's because I'm not feeling too great, don't let it be because you think it's you. It's me, and that's okay. And I'll make plans with you again. But right now I'm not feeling so great, and that's okay for me too.